Hey, everybody, this is TJR.
And this is Robert Kinsler.
And not long ago, we talked about the upcoming 50th anniversary re release of Let It Be. But over the tail end of this year, we're going to see quite a few more interesting either box set, anniversary releases, solo releases that have caught our attention, fascinated us, made us curious or excited to pick it up. So today, we're going to be talking about upcoming releases by Elton John, The Doors, Kiss, Colin Blunstone of the Zombies, Brian Wilson, and Pink Floyd. And I'll get started here, and I'm going to talk about the release from Elton John. It's entitled The Lockdown Sessions. It's going to be released on October 22nd of this year. And this is an album of collaborations recorded remotely over the last 18 months. This will be Elton John's 32nd studio album. Some of these collaborations were already previously released. I want to make that very clear. And many more of them are brand new. It will include 16 songs. I'm reading from some of the press information here. 16 songs, all Elton John collaborations, including Randy Carlile, Charlie Puth, Dua Lipa, Eddie Vedder, Gorillaz, Lil Nas X, Miley Cyrus, Nicki Minaj, Rina, and hopefully I can say this, Sawayama, hopefully I've said that right, S.G. Lewis, Stevie Nicks, Stevie Wonder, Surfaces, Years and Years, Young Thug, and more. Now, right off the bat, I do want to point out that the cover of Nothing Else Matters, which features Miley Cyrus, I feel very positive that this is the same cover that was just recently released on Metallica's Blacklist album. So I just want to point that out too.
And one thing I might want to add too is,
Yeah.
as I recall, the most recent Gorillaz album had the Elton John collaboration, unless it's a different track. I don't have the notes in front of me, but I know that there was a great Gorillaz track on their last album where Elton John, teamed up with Damon and the gang, and that was a great track. So possibly that's another one of the tracks as well, TJ.
Yes, that is one of the ones that was previously released. You are correct. Yeah, there's a couple that have been previously released, but it looks like at least half or more of these are completely new. I'm just going to read a little quote here from Elton John here. This is from the press release here. Elton John explained the project in a statement. Some of the recording sessions had to be done remotely via Zoom, which I'd previously never done before. Some of the sessions were recorded under very stringent safety regulations, working with another artist, but separated by glass screens. But all the tracks I worked on were really interesting and diverse, stuff that was completely different to anything I'm known for, stuff that took me out of my comfort zone into completely new territory. And I realized there was something weirdly familiar about working like this. At the start of my career in the late 60s, I worked as a session musician. Working with different artists during lockdown reminded me of that. I'd come full circle, I was a session musician again, and it was still a blast. And if you ever read Elton John's biography entitled Me, he talks about this period in his life before he got his first record deal, where basically he and all these other musicians would get together every week. They'd work almost every single week working on. They would record cover versions of other well-known chart-topping songs of the day, and this specialty label would release these. You could buy these cheaper than the original artist recordings, and they would release these compilation albums of covers of popular hits of the day, but just recorded by these different musicians, of whom he was part of. He was almost part of like this regular crew that did this. And he mentioned in his biography that a lot of people thought, oh, that must have been a drag for you. But he said it was always, he had a great time doing it. He said it was a real blast. It really sharpened his skills as a musician because he had to learn these songs really quick and be ready to record them like in nothing flat. And he said that he enjoyed it so much, that period of his life, that even after he had his first hit single, he went back one last time and did one of those one more time, just for the fun of it. I'm sure he got paid, but he didn't. But at this point, he didn't need to do this anymore. But he did it just for the fun of it, and he said it was still a blast doing it. So we'll see what this is like. I am personally curious to hear it. I feel like I'm going to listen to it first on streaming before I make a decision to purchase it. But I'm at the very least extremely curious. And anyway, so you want to talk about the Doors?
Right. Yeah. So let's talk. This is obviously a big announcement. The Doors' 1971 album, "L.A. Woman," is one of the band's great albums, and it's also the last album of new music they did with Jim Morrison as their singer. And there's a 50th anniversary edition coming out, and it's going to include more than 2 hours of previously unreleased session outtakes from that period when they were working on "L.A. Woman." And they have released one advanced track, which is an early demo version of "Riders on the Storm," and it definitely doesn't replace the final version, but it's very listenable, and you can hear all the elements that make "Riders on the Storm" such a great song. I'm very excited about this. It's going to be issued by Rhino Records, and it is on pre-sale now. It does retail for $79.98, so it's not not as expensive as some of these deluxe box sets we're seeing, but it's not, definitely it is a little bit of an investment of money. But I think if you're a fan of the original album and love this album, I think this is something you're going to want to pick up. But one paragraph perhaps I will read that, just to share, as I said, among the outtakes of album tracks, you can also hear the band joyously ripping through the kinds of classic blues songs that Morrison once described as, quote, original blues. These are great takes of Junior Parker's Mystery Train, John Lee Hooker's Crawlin' King Snake, Big Joe Williams' Baby Please Don't Go, and Get Out of My Life Woman, Lee Dorsey's funky 1966 classic written by his producer Alan Toussaint. It looks like there's going to be a lot of things that we haven't heard before, and it sounds like you're going to hear the band just kind of having fun in the studio.
We should also mention this set here is in the same format as the recent deluxe sets of the Doors' first album and Morrison Hotel. And also, I believe there was one other album.
Soft Parade, right?
Soft Parade, thank you,
right.
that has received this treatment where it's packaged in like a hardcover book, and it comes with 3 CDs and 1 LP.
That's right. That's what this one does come with. Right.
And the CD and the LP are a new remastering. The remastering is by the original engineer, Bruce Botnick. Right. And then of course the other 2 CDs are of, like you said, the demos, outtakes, that sort of thing. I wonder, the only thing I'm curious to know, and I tried to figure it out for myself, but I was left a little bit puzzled by it all, is how much of the session tracks that were featured in this 2 CD edition that came out about 5 years ago. I think this was the 45th anniversary set they released. It was 2 CDs, and the first CD was the album, and the second CD was alternate session recordings. And these were just live session recordings without any overdubs. It almost works like an alternate version of the album. Not all the tracks are duplicated, but it almost works in that respect.
Yeah.
And so this is, when I looked it up, I tried to see, well, what's different. Now, clearly, this demo version of Riders in the Storm has never been released before. In fact, it's listed as the Sunset Sound Studios version. And, but when I look these up here, these are all listed mostly as alternate versions, whereas on the new set they're referred to as outtakes. And I don't know if any of them are repeated. It does say over, I think that the press release said over 2 hours or
it's been over 2 hours, right?
Of never before released outtakes and session tracks. So I would have to guess if it's not all new, the majority of it's new, but that's something I will be curious to try to find out is, will anything from this 2 CD package be repeated in that? Curious about that.
Yeah.
But this was about 5 years
because
ago.
they say here too that there's like a demo of one of the tracks even recorded at Robbie Krieger's home in 1969 that's included. So it sounds like we are getting,
Oh yeah,
some new material.
oh well,
And
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, this is one disc.
yeah,
There's the first, like I said, the first CD is the original album, but the other two CDs are all these demos and outtakes and session tracks. So
yeah,
clearly, you're getting a lot more than you got on this.
yeah.
Even if they repeat
Exactly.
some of this, you're getting a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yeah. And
Plus, of course,
hopefully they've exhausted it for all the good stuff. So, so if people buy the 50th anniversary edition, hopefully there's not a 60th anniversary one that they're gonna have to buy to get more. Let's hope it's all here.
Let's hope it's all here. Yes.
Yeah, let's hope so.
If we're even alive to see the 60th anniversary.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to place any bets on that. So
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's why this stuff is coming out now while these artists are still alive.
Right.
To see it be released. As for this one, I already own the first album in the Morrison Hotel in those deluxe edition packaging. I definitely want to get this, but it is priced a lot higher than the previous two. And I honestly think I'm going to wait a little bit and see if the price goes down on this one. Yeah, but definitely it's one that I want to get.
Yeah.
How about you?
I know I want. I just love that album, so I'd love to hear it. But like you said, it's like, especially when we get through going through this list, there's a lot of good music here. In addition to like Let It Be that we've talked on previous episodes.
Yeah,
there's a lot of these really special sets coming out, and it's pricey when you start looking in your wallet and saying, okay, well, there's some tough choices I need to make here.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm going to wait on the Doors one and see if the price doesn't go down a bit. I was able to get really good deals on the previous two by just waiting. So next, I want to talk about Kiss Destroyer 45th anniversary Super Deluxe box set coming out in November 2021. This is considered to be Kiss's best album, and it's their best-selling album. And this is coming out in a 4 CD single Blu-ray box set. At first glance, I thought it was a bit pricey. It's $200. But then I saw what else came with it. I looked at that a little more closely. I'm just going to briefly go over what you get with this here. Actually, I'm going to try to be brief, but I don't know how brief I can be. You'll see what I mean. The first CD includes the original album, newly remastered at Abbey Road. That intrigues me right there. The second disc features 15 demos from Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons' personal archives. The third CD is packed with studio outtakes, alternate versions, alternate mixes, and single edits, while the final CD features a live recording of a show at, if I say it right, La Olympia in Paris, May 1976. For the Blu-ray disc, we have Steven Wilson, and he has created mixes of the original album in Dolby Atmos and 5.1 surround sound, as well as 2 bonus tracks, Beth Acoustic Mix. I want to circle back to that in a moment. Okay. And Sweet Pain original guitar solo. That one features an Ace Frehley guitar solo that was not released on the original studio album, but did turn up on 2012's Destroyer Resurrected project, which is a version of Destroyer that was remixed by Bob Ezrin. This is, of course, the original mix of the album just being remastered. While they mention Abbey Road, they don't say who in the materials. And so I'm kind of curious. The fact that it's being done at Abbey Road definitely grabs my attention, but who exactly did this remastering? Hopefully there'll be some more information on that later. Also, that track Beth Acoustic Mix, I am hoping that this is the acoustic version of Beth that was in that movie they made, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that timeless classic of a film, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, did actually feature Peter Criss performing an acoustic guitar rendition of Beth. So I'm really hoping that that's the recording, because that's never really been available commercially as near as I know. If anyone else knows anything about that, if anyone can correct me on that, let me know. But at any rate, though, so yeah, there's that. But also included in this is a 60-page hardcover book with extensive liner notes by classic rock writers Paul Elliott and Ken Sharp, featuring interviews from Gene, Paul, Ace, Peter, then manager Bill Aucoin, album producer Bob Ezrin, and many others. But also with all this, and let me catch my breath here real quick. Kiss Army Newsletter, Volume 1, Number 2, announcing Destroyer. 2 8x10 Destroyer press photos, discography sheet, Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter bio sheets, Kiss Army member certificate, Kiss Army membership card. And these, of course, were back then when you joined the Kiss Army back in the day, these are the items you got. So these are replicas of all of that. Kind of like when they released that Beatles Christmas package, where they had, replicas of the Christmas newsletters that came out that year, each year. Kiss logo iron-on, Kiss Army sticker, Detroit Rock City bumper sticker, Destroyer cover sticker, 11x17 Kiss on Westminster Bridge UK poster, 4 brand new 8x10 band member photos, 8x12 Destroyer foil flyer, 8x12 Destroyer Canadian flyer, super rare, 4 band member trading cards newly created for this box set, 16x24 Kiss over New York skyline poster, 16x24 Kiss Halloween 1976 concert poster, 2 9x12 Destroyer tour stage blueprints on transparent vellum, never seen before, 16-page Destroyer 1976 tour program replica, Gotham Rock City News Volume 1 newspaper that is a track-by-track interview with all 4 band members, Bob Ezrin, and crew, and a Partridge Family's greatest hits album.
I think this has gone over the edge.
Whew. Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot. TJ, that is some serious, merchandise.
Doodads.
Part of the pack. So when you hear $200, it sounds like a lot of money, which it is.
Yeah.
But at least they're giving you a lot of stuff.
They're packing this full of goo-gaws and doodads, more than you could choke a horse with.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, though, so yeah, that's that. I'll be honest. Yes, I'm a Kiss fan. This is their best album, and it's the first Kiss album I ever bought. And actually, this album was really my introduction to really hard rock and metal music. Because up until then, I was more of what you might call a soft rock fan. I mean, I don't know if Elton John is soft rock, but I liked Elton John. I liked the stuff that was not heavy and hard at that point. But then I got Destroyer, and that changed everything. And then from there, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Van Halen, and I just and suddenly I wanted to go from playing piano to playing guitar.
Right.
And that changed my life.
Yeah, no, that was and like you, that was like the one Kiss album I think that I really owned. I had it on cassette, but boy, it's like you couldn't. I mean, every song was great. I think to agree with you, that is their best album. I think they're most, so I'm glad they're giving it this kind of deluxe treatment. And it doesn't sound like you're going to have to buy this version and then a 50th anniversary edition one in a few years. It sounds like this is giving you the whole kit and caboodle.
And like I said earlier, 45th. I think the reason why they're not waiting for the 50th anniversary is we want to make sure everybody's still around to see it.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's like I said, I'm excited about it. It appears to only be available on Kiss's website, on their online store. I don't see it listed anywhere else. So it's available for pre-order. I'm probably going to get this. I was thinking no at first. I would just get the 2 CD edition. But the more I looked at everything, the more I thought, I can kind of see this one selling out. I know you want to talk about solo releases from both so Colin Blunstone and Brian Wilson.
Right. So let me talk about Colin Blunstone's now Colin Blunstone, just for those that might not know, Colin Blunstone is the lead singer of the Zombies, and just an amazing talent. His solo career is much better known in the UK than it is in America. But I mean, because of the resurgence of interest in the Zombies since they reformed about 20 years ago, and they've kind of had this great second act, including now they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple of years ago. There's been a lot of interest in his first album. Is titled 1 Year, and it took about a year to do, and he did that right after the Zombies completed Odyssey and Oracle and broke up. He began working on this. It was completed. I know we've mentioned Abbey Road Studios. That's where this album was completed, and it's gonna include the original track listing. Plus, it's going to have 14 previously unreleased recordings, and it's going to also have an additional 9 unrecorded compositions.
Okay.
So I'm imagining from the press notes here that were songs that were perhaps written or prepared at that time, but were never recorded. Maybe it sounds like now maybe they've recorded those or something, and they're going to be included. But it sounds like, for any fans of him and the Zombies, it sounds like it's going to be great. It's going to have new liner notes that he penned himself, and that's going to be available on November 5th via Sunday's Music. And there is an advanced track that I've listened to. It's very beautiful. And actually, it's called I Won't Let You Down. And it's kind of interesting because it's just Colin Blunstone singing, and Rod Argent, who's the well-known keyboardist in the Zombies, he plays the piano on it. So there's all kinds of connections. So if you're a Zombies fan, you're probably going to want to pick up One Year when that comes out in early November.
This is a 2 CD set then, right?
I believe it's 2 CDs.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it is 2 CDs. And
okay. Might be hard to get all that onto 1 CD, but you never know.
Oh no, I'm sure it's at least 2. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm sure it's at least 2. But like I said, and I know that there'll be probably more information about that. And I know I've also posted the press release on my Rock and Roll Truth blog, so you can go there and get more information.
Oh yes. In fact, we should mention that I believe pretty much all of this you have talked about on your Rock and Roll Truth blog, which we'll leave a link for, and everybody should definitely take a look and subscribe, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and there's a great search engine. So, for example, if we're talking about Colin Blunstone, you could just type in Colin Blunstone, and all my entries that I've ever done about him, whether they were his solo efforts or his work with the Zombies, it's going to pop up. So
very good.
Now, are you wanting me to talk about the Brian Wilson, or do you have another one?
No, please, by all means. Yeah, please talk about this Brian Wilson album. I've read about it and I've listened to the advanced track, but first I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. I think so Brian Wilson and Decca Records have announced a release of At My Piano, which is a full-length album where Brian Wilson revisits Beach Boys classics that he performs via instrumental piano. So that there's apparently no singing and no other backing arrangements. It sounds like, at least from the first track that we've heard, it sounds like that this is something different. Now, I know someone, when I was talking to a Beach Boys fan, they were saying, well, is he the one playing the piano on it? Given some of the challenges Brian Wilson has had.
Sure.
And I can't say with certainty. It sounds like it's probably Brian Wilson doing it, but I don't want to say that if in fact it isn't true. But I know that it does have his name on it. It's been released as a Brian Wilson album, and
I would assume it's him. I listened to the track, and it sounded really good.
Yeah,
I was
and
surprised.
Very because it's not going to technically blow you away, but there's so much feeling in it that led me to think, what, I think this is Brian Wilson. So
I was surprised because I thought it was going to be just vocal and piano at first when I first played it. And then I realized, it's just instrumental piano. And it was very beautiful, and it was very emotive. And it was just filled with expression. If that opening advanced track is any indication, this is going to be a must-have. So that leads us to the last release that we want to talk about today. Pink Floyd, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, Remixed and Updated is how this is titled. Now, this remix of A Momentary Lapse of Reason was originally released on the later years box set. So this is not a new release, but it's new in that it's being released separately now, aside from that box set. So you can now just pick it up without having to pick up that whole box set. I'm going to read from the press release here on it. By returning to some of Richard Wright's original keyboard parts, and by re-recording new drum tracks with Nick Mason, producers David Gilmour and Bob Ezrin, there's that name again, have restored the creative balance between the 3 Pink Floyd members. The front cover features an alternate photograph from the original album photo shoot. And this is coming out as in 3 configurations here: a deluxe CD DVD box, remix from the original master tapes. That's the 2019 mix we're talking about here. and includes bonus material, 5.1 surround sound audio, along with a 40-page booklet, an envelope containing 6 exclusive stickers designed by Peter Curzon, hopefully I say that right, in Storm Studios. So this is a CD and DVD set. There is also a 2 LP package, 2 LPs packaged in a gatefold and pressed on heavyweight 180-gram vinyl at half speed 45 RPM for enhanced audio quality with a 28-page booklet. Also, a single CD in a digipack with a 28-page booklet of just the remix of the album. For those of you that need to be more budget conscious, and certainly some of us do need to be. The CD and DVD set is a bit expensive. It's about like $55 roughly. I thought that was a bit much for 2 discs.
Yeah.
40-page booklet, some Gugas, extra stickers thrown in. The 2 LP package is actually cheaper. So usually it's the LPs that are more expensive. Yeah, it's actually a little bit. It's about roughly $10 cheaper. It's about 40 some bucks. So a little bit cheaper. And then of course we got the single CD. I think that was like about 11, 12 bucks. So, if you want to just hear the remix, you can just pick up that version.
Yeah.
That's coming out October 29th. So this is all pre-Christmas stuff, of course. That way you can also give someone that perfect gift as well. But at any rate, though, those are so far for the upcoming, fall winter season. These are some of the new releases that have caught our eyes and ears that we're excited about, or at the very least curious. Let us know what yours are. Was there anything we should have talked about? Is there anything you want to give a shout out to? Let us know in the comments. And if anything else gets announced over the next couple weeks for the rest of the fall winter season, we'll get back together and do another one of these. Any other announcements about new releases that we think we need to talk about, we'll definitely get back together and do this. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there's anything we should have talked about. As always, if you want to see more videos like this, please click subscribe, smash the bell notification icon. And if you'd like to be a patron supporter, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. We want to thank very much the patron supporters who are helping us make more videos. And if you can't be a patron supporter, just click like, just leave a comment, and share these videos on your social media. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We hope you all stay safe and healthy. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.